Alright, what's up, Dragon Brew? Today we're going to be playing some airships, but most importantly, we actually found a new card from Ninja Turtles that might fit right in. So that puts us right at the top where we're going to start with some known quantities here. We have some Requiting Hex, because, early removal. We do have Gene Pollinator and Llanowar Elves, because the mana is going to be the underpinning of the deck. We do have some Bitter Triumph, no surprise here. Couple of Nowhere to Run because we do need some permanents we can sacrifice. Speaking of which, we will have Obsessive Pursuit. This actually works really well. So we get a bunch of clues, can possibly get some life gain out of this. Of course, there's still some Badger Mole Cub because we are playing some green creatures. Sentinel of the Nameless City gets to make us some maps that we could sacrifice easily. There's some Maelstrom Pulse because we're in black-green, just kind of a catch-all removal. But again, when we were talking about sacrificing things, we have Beseech the Mirror, which can help us go find basically anything in the deck. And then we have Phoenix Fleet Airship. If you don't know what this is, it's a 4-mana 4/4 with flying. And then at the beginning of our end step, if we sacrificed a permanent this turn, which we will have plenty to sacrifice, we get to make a token copy. If at any point there are 8 of these, they all become creatures. But honestly, you're often going to beat your opponents before that situation happens. Of course, we still have some Ouroboros, just a couple of them. And then the new card from Ninja Turtles that makes the cut here is Mutagen Man, for a few reasons. One, this can actually make it very easy for us to sacrifice our clues from the Obsessive Pursuit. It can also sacrifice maps for free. And there's a possibility that if we just need something cheap to sacrifice to get those extra airships, well, Mutagen only costs 1, so why not? Right? So lots of cool stuff going on with this list. This should be a fun one to play. But before we get into the games, I got to tell you, if you're thinking about buying some Magic cards but you want to save some money, go check out our friends over at Tales of Venture. It's toamagic.com. And if you use my code DRAGON, that's DRAGN, it'll save you 5% on literally everything you buy over there. So go check them out. If you pick up something, use my code, save some money, and you'll be supporting the channel. And I thank you that have already done that, because they've been saying some of y'all have been going, and I appreciate it. But that aside, let's go see how many wins we can get with these airships. Yeah, we're going to keep this, for sure. We even have a backup elf if the first one doesn't make it. Can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Okay. I have a feeling Maelstrom Pulse might be important somewhere along the line. Especially if they, like, sneak here and make 3 1/1s. It's like, alright, we get to get rid of all the 1/1s. Here comes the sneak. Nope, no sneak, actually. I would have almost put any amount of money they were going to sneak there. Alright, so what type of life gain thing are you playing? Okay, fine. Like, sure, you got to split up. I think we just run more dudes out. Like, if you have another split up, then, like, so be it, I guess. And then I will go ahead and use the map. Alright, that's fine. Granted, it means we don't have any action. We just have a bunch of removal for the next couple turns. But, you know, if it helps, it helps.
Ooh, I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
Alright, so you make a spirit token. You maybe don't attack. I mean, you know what we have on top. So make your decisions with that, I guess. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to... Actually, yeah, we're going to go ahead and Hex. And then we're going to attack with the assumption they'll block. And this just makes them use their token. Oh, they didn't block. I guess they figured they didn't have to, because it wasn't going to get rid of her. But there we go. Put this on black. Comes another split up. It's a Charming Prince. Okay. Choosing to scry to, and... Well, they're thinking about him a lot. It's probably not good. I left one on top, one on bottom. Okay. Well, we have that knowledge. Not sure what we do with it, but we have it. I'm just going to attack for 2. And pass the turn. I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing with nowhere to run here. Cease and desist. Yeah, sure. Draw that card that you left on top. Another Kaya. Dang it. That's tough.
Somebody bothering you? I'll make them suffer.
All right.
I found an eyewitness.
All right, we're going to take it. I guess they figured they could keep Kaya from dying, but we at least can do something about that. So let's go Kaya, opponent. And I'm going to leave black the Pollinator just because. For 2 reasons. One, it can actually block the 2/2. But additionally, we can also crack the food, or if we need to. And I was going to say, not going to attack with the flyer, but we are. All right. Koya, Death from Above. I forgot this was even a card. When it enters, exile up to one other target creature. At the beginning of the next instep, you may pay 3 black if you do. Wow, that's a very slow blink card. I mean, I get why you're playing it. Don't get me wrong, but I guess. Oh, if you don't, you return it. All right, so you can pay extra to keep it away. Got it. Okay, well, that's a little bit different. I thought you had to pay to get it back, and I'm like, that seems crazy. Like, why would you do that? Auto pay. Yep. Seems good. Okay, now we're in the business of doing some things. Let's go get us an airship. Mostly because this opponent is also playing sweepers and whatnot. And we don't want to be in the business of having to worry about that. No attacks. Okay. Now, if they all out attack here, we do have to be aware that they could just have, like, Day of Judgment and hoping we activate our airships. Which it sucks if they do, but, like, what do you do in those cases? Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, I will activate a single airship. And I will play your game, opponent. And we'll block. Because they could just have, like, split up and just destroy all tapped creatures or whatever. Or all untapped creatures, I should say. Oh, there's an Ultima. Well, that also sucks. But all right. What even deck is this? Like, people play so many sweepers these days, man. I will constantly say, if there's anything I could change about current standard, it's not Badger Mole Cubs, it's not Mono Red, it's literally just, we don't need multiple new sweepers every set. Like, it's to the point where I've won games because opponents are playing sweepers in spots where they don't even need to play them. Like, where they're advantaged and then somehow still decide they need to play a sweeper. So it's a very weird time. Alright, Charming Prince. Now, admittedly, this opponent's deck, like, probably makes sense. I don't know. They're just trying to blink and scry into their control spell. So, like, I can see what they're doing. But it does get old when you just see tons of sweepers all the time. Alright, what removal spell did you put on top? Oh. Is it a sneak spell? Wait, what? With basically no creatures? Yeah, I'm way more confused than I was before, actually. This makes even less sense, but... Alright, I guess I'm here for it. Never mind. This deck is even more weird for playing sweepers. At first, I was thinking, okay, you're just doing a thing, trying to get to your planeswalkers and do your bit, but this is weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'm just going to Mutagen Man here. 2, 4. Are we just going to Mutagen Man for 5? Yeah, sure. What's up? Let's just do the thing. And this would just be a you figure it out kind of scenario, I guess. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to save some of those just in case they do have, like, split up or something. Because we already saw one. Alright, the fact that they're not even blocking makes me feel like there is a real possibility the split up's about to happen. No, they didn't do it, though, so no split up. This is just going to make another ninja. And that's going to blink the prince, sure. Death of the family, you got it. Another Mutagen Man. Okay, sure. What are we doing here? The weird thing is, I don't even think it's worth making more ooze. I think it's worth just playing Mutagen Man for 0. And then activating this, putting our counters, attacking, because everything's just must block at this point anyway. And if they don't get rid of Mutagen Man, we can just make a gigantic 40 power Mutagen Man or whatever. And that should be enough. Like, what are we doing? Alright. In the turn. Don't know what you got on top, but it's got to be something that gets rid of Mutagen Man here. At a minimum. If it doesn't, then we're good. Yeah, that's not even close to being it. That is all she wrote here. Thank you, Mutagen Man, for helping us overcome all of this insanity. Activate this. Put a... not even sacrificing the food. Put a counter on Ouroboros. Attack. We'll have way more than enough. Alright, cool. That wasn't really an oops from the opponent, I didn't feel like. That was more just, you know, even if they kept creatures back, Mutagen Man was going to be big enough to get it done. But yeah, I am really not sure what this deck was doing. It's a bunch of, like, exile, reuse charm. They used Charming Prince, I think, like 4 times this game. There was a couple of Kayas. There were multiple sweepers that happened. Like, I have... Not only that, you're playing Ultima with Artifact, man. Like, I don't know what's happening here. Wild deck, though. I mean, credit to them for trying something different. It was just kind of all over the place. But, hey, despite all that, we still won, and I don't even think we had close to our best draw, actually. So, that was really good. Okay. This isn't good or bad. This is kind of just middle of the road. Though, I guess if the first Badger Mole lives, the second one then lets us play Pursuit and could crack a clue, maybe? So this could be kind of interesting. I mean, against the red decks, I don't expect it to live, but, you know, one can dream. Yeah. Alright. Let's see what happens. Okay. That wasn't the worst. Though, we're kind of put in a situation. Actually, if we do this, then this can produce black, green, green. I'm just debating. Like, we want to get rid of an additional creature here, obviously. So, let's tap this. And then we'll use this to get rid of... Yeah, let's do it. I mean, they get access to the card now for next turn, but I think that's okay, ultimately. Alright, then we'll just play the Pollinator. And pass the turn. And we're still a black mana short. Oh no, we have Pollinator. So we could beseech the mirror for an Ouroboros next turn, actually. That wouldn't suck. Yeah, let's just do that, I guess. I mean, not really what we're aiming for here, but if it gets the job done. Tap a permanent. I guess it doesn't matter. Why did it tap all this mana? Hold up. Like, what's going on? I have too many things tapping for mana. Bargain. Yes. We will... What is it asking me? Oh, just, yeah, auto pay. Fine. Tap this. Sack this guy. Yeah, I just have a bunch of mana left over. Go get Ouroboros. Not the way these are supposed to work out, but, you know. I'm down. And we know they exiled an Arabella, so I would totally trade a Badgermole Cub for an Arabella here. Arguably, though, getting 2 airships could have been better. So that's a real thing. Wow, they said we're willing to risk all this over an Ouroboros. Wow. Wow. Alright, cool. That'll do. Don't get me wrong, I get being afraid of an Ouroboros, but I think it would have made sense to just get rid of all the tapped creatures, leave me with just an Ouroboros and 4 lands, and then make me figure out what to do from there. Now, admittedly, I did have some plays, but they still could have attacked there, gained some life, and like we still would have had a little bit of a game, I think. I'm going to keep this just because we have Mutagen Man. Mutagen Mans, since it's a plural, an actual name, a proper name. But they have red and black, so let's see how long this Llanowar Elf lives. They're going to surveil. See, when your opponent surveils, that often feels like they have some type of control type situation going on. I'm going to take a chance here and Mutagen Man for 1. And just see if maybe they decide to use some removal on the Mutagen Man. I mean, there's a chance they don't care because they're just going to take it and have a sweeper or something next turn, but yeah, we'll see if they have it. Oh, they're just reanimating stuff here. That's bad for us. We don't have a good answer for that. Yep, we're going to be cooked here because we got a super slow hand. This is where it would have been nice if, you know, we have some airships we could think about coming over the top. Alright, that could have been worse, I suppose. If we do this, we actually... Alright, Mutagen Man for 3, or if we do this, we get 2, 4, 5, and it's still Mutagen Man for 3? Alright, might as well. And then 1, 2, 3? Because it's 2, 4, 5 mana? Yeah. And I guess I'm going to use a couple of these. I'm just trying to think of like what they're going to do. I don't think they're going to deal more than 3. So I'm going to gamble here and just pass. I mean, they're obviously able to play push-pull and get things out of the yard, but if we can get this Restless Cottage to attack, they won't have anything to get back, and that'd be great. At least that's the goal. We'll see if we get there. Though, even if they just have a sweeper of some kind here, we get the Restless Cottage back, and then we attack with the cottage. Remove the dinosaur from their graveyard. So we should be fine here, I think. I say fine in the sense of we're not instantly dead. You know, like, but not fine as in the game is over by any stretch. Wow. I kind of love it, though. Not going to lie. So let's go here. Play an airship. We will attack with Badger Mole Cub and Cottage. Use our Cottage to remove their Carnosaur. And then... Actually, I should have done this pre-attack, actually. You know what? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? No, I can't do that. Alright. We'll just put this on the land. I could have got another point in there had I been thinking. But, no biggie. Breach? Sure. So you'll get a free dragon here. Or, yeah, I guess dragon. Here's a Carnosaur. Carnosaur is going to combo here, I guess. Ooh, good thing I made my token when we made it. Good news is we only lose one of them. We do not lose both of them. And the only thing in our graveyard right now are Mutagen Man and Llanowar Elf, so we're not worried about those getting reanimated. Those are fine. Opponent says, nah, you can keep those. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So, what's the play here? Are we just crewing up 2 airships and attacking, I think is the plan? A little bit wild, but kind of makes sense. I'm going to Obsessive Pursuit, and maybe we just draw a card here. With one of these clues. Alright. And we'll go ahead and... I guess it doesn't really matter which one. Go attacking. Put extra counters on this one, so we can split them up a little bit. Alright. Let's see what happens here. I mean, they could have hasty things here and we just lose. I don't know, but... did what we could. Our airships did their thing. And technically... oh, no, I was going to say they only have to deal 15, but we do have a food still. Ah, see? Siegebreaker. There's the hasty thing. Granted, not enough of a hasty thing, though, so we should be mostly okay. But let's see what they find. We could get wrecked, because that's already 11. Day of Judgment? Okay. Sure. Makes sense. Still have our land. Oh, no, but they got a Terror of the Peaks. Oh, that sucked. That was probably the worst thing that could have happened. Oh, no. Ah, man, what do we do here? I mean, Badger Mole can block some damage. We can still gain life. There's a problem, though. Do I just want to... I think we're just... Man, am I saving to block? I don't think we can justify that, though. We're going to turn this into a creature. And then let's go ahead and gain from the food. Just to make sure nothing too crazy happens. And then let's... yeah, let's go the 6/6 here. Let's... God, we're at 18 now. Still feel like we might lose. And now Day of Judgment makes this bad if we make more Phoenix Fleet airships. Oh, this is a tough spot, y'all. This is one of those decks, one of those cases where the deck the opponent is playing is actually pretty good against us. Oh, actually, no. This is good, actually. Oh, no. Well, okay. So if I let them block, these don't become creatures. Basically. This is interesting. I'm going to gamble and keep them both alive. But there is a real world where I just let them block one of them and take 7. Or, you know, whatever. And then these stay as non-creatures and then I can attack next turn. Which is probably smarter in the grand scheme of things. Because again, Day of Judgment can wipe out all our stuff here and it feels real bad. The only good news, though, is if they have another push-pull, then we don't really lose anything here. Because we can throw a bunch of blockers in the way. I mean, like, we'll lose stuff, but not enough that we're concerned about it. Yep. So we go to 14. Now, if they hit 2 big creatures off this, super wrecked, right? Because this first one deals 7. All right. What do we hit? Ooh, Starfall Invocation. Yeah, and this is what we get for turning these in. I guess if we didn't turn them into creatures, we'd have just lost, though. So it's kind of a no-win situation, really. Hey, some subscribers. Love that. Yep. All right. Opponent should have this one. I don't think we have 4 damage. It's magically going to come out of nowhere here. Such a crazy situation. They drew so well there. And there's just nothing we can do. All right. GG's. That sucks. All right. Let's keep it. Are we losing a Llanowar Elf here? Probably so. Because they kept the hand and didn't do anything. No! Man, that's a surprise. There's a momentum break, though. That makes more sense. I at least found a 3rd land to make up for when this Badger Mole Cub also doesn't survive. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Not surprised by that, though. That's to be expected. We may discard his card. If we don't, we lose 3. I'll just lose 3 here. They also lost 3. Interesting. Deep Cavern Bat. Well, we know what you're going to take here. Maybe, though, I would assume you're taking Maelstrom Pulse. But, yeah, I was going to say. But maybe they take something else. Oh, because you have 2 bats anyway. It doesn't matter. At this point, I would take Beseech the Mirror, just in case. Because if I draw an untapped land, you don't know what we're going to beseech for. We could get really cheeky and just beseech for a Maelstrom Pulse, even. They took Mutagen Man. Alright, well, this gives us a choice now. Because what does this do at the end? Exile a number of target players' graveyards. That's fine. So if we beseech, we can either go... The two best answers are either go get Maelstrom Pulse, because we can just play it, or get the airships, which the airships feel safer in this matchup. So I think that's what I'm going to go do. Actually, let's just attack first, because they're not going to block, but, you know, give them the option. Alright. Let's auto-pay, bargain away one of these. Go get us some airships. And the turn, get a second airship. Pass. Yep, away goes my graveyard. Fortunately, we don't have a great use for it. Wrench. Hey, we have some good cards you could wrench away from us. Though they do still have to spend mana for them. But they could get like a Mutagen Man or something. I mean, they are looking at 9 cards. I mean, realistically, all we're looking for is something cheap to crew airships at this point. Oh, opponent. Really? What is this about? Thanks, I guess. That seemed a little crazy and unnecessary, but I ain't gonna complain about it, I guess. Map? I don't even know if I want a Badger Mole Cub, as crazy as this is. I mean, I guess I'll leave it on there, because it at least guarantees that there's a creature to crew an airship, if necessary. Alright, opponent goes to 12. We get to make 2 more airships and have up nowhere to run. I feel like if we're just going to nowhere to run, then I guess this is fine. Just get our guaranteed counter. Alright. Because the opponent does nothing else and puts no flyers in the way, then we can just get rid of a Badger Mole Cub and attack for 12 in the air next turn, since we know we have Badger Mole Cub on top. So they took a Cub and a Bandit's Talent of their own. Oh, they took a land. They took a Restless Cottage. Man, they must have looked at bad cards from us. Because I'm like, I was seriously like, what's the other card they took? Like, oh, they just played a Restless Cottage. All right. Well, then that's just going to be game, right? Yeah, sure. The opponent doesn't really have an attack here. And they know what we have on top. Our turn. Play a Badger Mole. Actually, I guess technically we could put a bunch of ships in the air, but go ahead and use that one. Go ahead and use this one. And then we'll attack. And I think we're pretty good. Can't be too upset about this. This is kind of how we drew it up. Well, this feels pretty basic to keep. No real surprises here. Now, I do think with this hand, this is one where we lead with Pollinator. So if they do have a removal spell, we'd rather that go away here. So we could still play Badger Mole Cub and Llanowar Elf, or Badger Mole Cub into Pursuit. Okay. So let's go Cub into Pursuit. Actually, yeah, let's go Cub Pursuit. Tempting there, though, to play Llanowar Elf. But I think we're still okay here. And now if they have the ability to do something, it's probably remove Badger Mole Cub, I would think. Yeah, that makes sense. We can live with that. Nowhere near our biggest concern of things, so that's fine. Ooh, another Obsessive Pursuit. Let's crack one. Just to see what's up. Alright, let's tap this for green. Play a Llanowar Elf. Attacking, putting a counter. Alright. We're probably going to be priced into using Bitter Triumph next turn, though, if I were guessing. Just to make sure their incremental damage, along with our own damage from the pursuits, doesn't get us. But they're taking damage here. What is this about? Yeah, draw a card. Oh, they want to bounce their own thing? Yeah, sure. I see that play a lot, and I feel like there's more times where it probably makes more sense to just remove our creature, but I'm going to go ahead and block just because incremental damage here is not something I want to have to worry about too much. Let's discard, target this. Probably get rid of the other pursuit. I'm going to go ahead and take two. Crack one of these. Actually, am I? Next turn I could crack 1, 2. I'd have to draw a land to be able to get rid of 3 of them, but then we could gain life. It's probably worth it. Alright, let's just do this then. Alright, opponent's at 13. And I'm putting the counters on the Wastewood Verge because if they do get rid of it, it just becomes a land again. But I'm hoping to draw an untapped land here. That would be the goal. Alright. Or that. Wow. Ooh, boy. This was not on my bingo card. What are we going to do here? Alright. Airship, I guess. No attacks? Pass the turn. I mean, they have a lot of cards in hand. They're obviously playing bounce spells and stuff, so everything's an option right now. Sure, that resolves. Guess what I'm getting rid of? Now they're going to try to pick off our creatures, which we're going to accrue things. You got it. Could also come down to if we really want to trade. Because that is a real question here with the opponent only at 13. Because we kind of still need creatures to crew them. Yeah, let's go ahead and trade for this. I think that's more than fair. We are about that life. And I'll do it with the token, so if they have something that bounces, we get to keep the real creature. Oh, that is not what we were looking for. Let's go ahead and crack one of these then. Oh, well, that's something. Man, that opens up a lot of choices. What do we get rid of? Like, the double talents could be worthwhile, since you could bounce a boomerang basics, I guess. Get rid of the tracker so they can't gain any more cards cheaply. Oh, gosh. This is tough. I guess it's what we do, though, right? I'm just trying to think, how much damage could we take next turn? I think we do it, though. Like, we just risk it, because we put them down to 9. Oh, actually, I guess 8, because we get the +1. Yeah. So now they have to leave mana up to deal with our airships. Or get rid of our creatures, and then we can't crew the airships. So that's a realistic thing. I mean, if I'm in their boat, yeah, I was gonna say, you just start doing whatever you can, get our creatures off the battlefield. That's the play, for sure. And then bounce one of your sacrifice effects, so you could replay it. Put us down to 8. We go down to 7, and then you force us to have to find something. Oh, then yeah, and that blocks an airship even. So there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, but they don't have the mana to replay it. Ooh. That's big. All right, we go to 9. 8. And that is a land that sadly enters the battlefield tapped. Ooh, another Beseech. What do we do with this one? Oh, gosh. Ouroboros isn't that exciting when they're holding this thing. Oh my gosh, what do we do here, y'all? Or do we just crack, hope to find an untapped land, crack again, try to gain some life? Is that a thing? I don't know what to do with this. Genuinely, I'm not even messing with y'all. Like, this is tough. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. Took me a second, but I think I know. We're going to sacrifice this. And then probably go get Badger Mole Cub. Though, yeah, let's get a Badger Mole Cub. Mostly for 2 reasons. 3, really, technically. One is that it gives us an additional body to sacrifice when they replay Momentum Breaker. We could also save the Badger Mole Cub to crew an airship. And we have extra mana, potentially, to use to sacrifice things next turn. So, I think I can only lose if we attack, right? So let's just pass the turn. All right. Because I think that's the only way we lose. Like, we can still lose, but I mean, that's the only way we guaranteed lose, is we just only can't play around stuff or whatever there. All right, Momentum Break. We knew that was coming, so we're not surprised. Get rid of that Verge, was the whole reason it showed up in the first place. Also, remember, our opponent could sacrifice Momentum Breaks, too. So that's something else we have to think about. Ban his talent. All right, so that's going to be some damage we can't do anything about. So that's tough. Oh, they haven't leveled it up yet. I mean, if they attack, we have to block, right? Like, there's no question. Okay, so they're not. Okay, go to 7. Llanowar Elf is pretty good here. That's a little sorcery. So what would you even have here? Another Badger Mole wouldn't hurt. Ooh, Mutagen Man ain't bad either, though. All right, let's go Llanowar Elf. Mutagen Man for 1. So that'll still allow us to... Mutagen for free. Now, they have something here. I don't know what something is, but they have something. I think we just have to say, do you have 2 somethings? If you do, we lose. If you don't, so bad. Actually, got to have 3 somethings. So, yeah. We're not even bothering with the cracking portion of the session. We're just saying, all right, we have all these airships. What you going to do? Because 2 mana has to be dedicated to cracking one of the momentum breaks. Alright. And now we'll mutagen onto one of these. And then we'll attack. We've sacked 2 things this turn, I think. I mean, you can tap 1, but then you don't have... I guess if it's a tap and a bounce spell, then, like, congrats. You got us. Put the counters on this one. All right, cool. Woo! Yeah, we haven't seen that deck in a bit. That was a little bit surprising to run into that, but... Still worked out, I guess. Not the way we wanted to. I think there was a point where I could have taken a chance to gain a little life earlier as well. I was just playing it a little extra safe. But with them having all the sacrifice effects and whatever, I wanted to make sure we didn't leave ourselves vulnerable, and it at least worked out. Oh, man. How do we feel about this list? Hard to tell, to be honest. We ran into a lot of... I don't even think I played against one what I would call... just normal deck, maybe one of, you know, that you would expect to see. So can't really judge too much here. I mean, we don't have much for graveyard stuff main deck, so that's a weakness for sure. I mean, the control decks, I guess, depending on if we get early airships or not against Day of Judgments and whatnot. So, like, it's just weird. Like I said, we played against several decks that a couple of them didn't really make a lot of sense. You know, some decks just playing cards that were out of place. So not something you're going to see regularly. Now, I do think if we were playing against some of the early aggro decks or whatever, as long as we get some of our removal, I think we're fine. And, you know, of course, opposing Badger Mole Cub decks and such, we do have 6 early removal spells plus Maelstrom Pulse. So those are all pretty reasonable in those fights too. So I think this could still hold up against a lot of things. That being said, we don't really know with this sample size. Like I said, the deck selection we ran into today was very strange. Not normal at all. But that happens sometimes when you're on the ladder. It's one of the reasons I tell people the ladder is not a tournament setting. And that's why you can rank up with very weird things on the arena ladder quite often, as us creators do, because it's not a tournament environment. Even once you get to the higher levels. We see that regularly. But today, I think, was a good example of that. I think if you were to take this to your FNM, people are more likely to be playing decks that they saw online or that did well in a tournament somewhere. And this could hold up against those, so I don't think that's bad. And, of course, you could still sideboard in those events where you put in some number of duresses, right? Probably 4 to 6 cards against, probably 6 cards even, against graveyard stuff, right? Maybe a Planeswalker or 2 for the control matchups, right? So there's a lot of things you could do with this. You know, your extra Maelstrom Pulses if you're playing against, I don't know, Synthesizer or whatever. So there's a lot of ways you could go with this where I think the sideboard could shore up a lot of issues for those tournament type situations if you're going to take it in paper. But even on Arena, I think this is totally fine. But the link will be up on Moxfield like always, so y'all can download it, try it for yourself. And this is a nice update to a deck that already existed, which is pretty cool. But like always, that's all I have for now. We'll see you next time.